Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. For today's video, we're going to talk about accessing the game early. Some people can start as early as the 16th. Alright, so we're here. I got my tea in my coffee shirt. You know, it totally makes sense. It's not really the morning, but it's the morning for me here in Romania. Noon counts as the morning, right guys? For some of us it does. And well, I have so many videos I need to make, and this one's really important because it kind of affects people like tomorrow or very soon after, so let's get to it. Hot team. Alright, woo, it was hot. Let's go. I should wait, that's too hot. Burn my mouth. Alright, so I saw this blurb of information and I kind of freaked out, but then they clarified and I still kind of freaked out, and then they had to clarify again. So I want to share with you guys my clarifications that are not spelled out in some of these posts about starting early and how that affects Season 0 players, Season 1 players, you know, like people that have never played before versus people that have already played during CBT2. There's a lot of things that kind of intertwine that we need to talk about. And today they just released a massive notes about changes and yeah, lots of really wonderful stuff it looks like for the new season. And before I go over that separately, there is one section of that that talks about switching servers or as an alliance sending people to your server, and that sounds a little bit complicated too. So I figured for this video we're going to talk about starting your account, when to start, starting on what server, and kind of go over all that stuff and try to figure it all out together so we're not confused for the launch and you can start on the best day for you. I'm also going to talk about a couple things for me. So let's read this first. This was the first post that was part of a longer post in the official Discord posted on the 8th of September. So season settlement is happening right now. We cannot access the game for anyone that played for CBT2. It's over. So there's no more playing. If you open your account on the 16th, you're going to be starting on the new server and you're starting for global. That's the thing right now. We have 24 hours of no service, but that won't happen in the future, I think, because at least that long. It's just because it's the first thing and it was beta, so they didn't mind doing that. But yeah, so then they had this post here. So after the Season 0 settlement is completed, all travelers who participated in this paid content retained closed beta can choose to experience the new Season 1 content from September 16th at 2 a.m. to September 18th at 00 hours UTC. At that time, one server will be open in advance for travelers with existing characters to decide whether or not to start their Season 1 experience immediately. So, if you played CBT2 and you have a Season 0 account, as we call them, you can start September 16th, tomorrow, Saturday. You can start officially playing the game. Like, you're good. You could just start. But you keep in mind, for me, I feel like starting early is extremely exciting for most people, and that's something I would normally do. But I actually have a sponsorship linked with this to start playing on the 19th is my plan to do my first bit of gameplay. And I kind of want to start on the 19th, which is like the date anyway, for the sake of my live stream. So I'm not going to start on the 16th myself for my Season 0 account, even though I have a Season 0 account. But that's where it gets tricky. All right, so travelers who fail to choose in time or prefer to start Season 1 after global launch may choose a new server after September 19th at 00 hours UTC, at which time you can inherit your original character's data, and the data will be issued entering the Chaos Universum. Instructions will be given at that time. Refer to in-game prompts. So this was a little bit confusing. So my first thing was like, wait, what does this mean? if we have a Season 0 account, we can start on a new server at the 19th. What does that mean? Does that mean we're starting with new accounts? That's not fair. We can't start on the same servers as new accounts. And that's something I wanted clarification of. So there were lots of questions around this post. So we did go ahead and ask them for clarification, and they did actually give it to us. So there actually is going to be some early starting. It does have the official launch time of September 19th at 100 hours, but really it's going to be before that. It's just, I think certain platforms, like maybe Steam, for example, or whatever this Epic store is, I don't even know what that is. Maybe those things are not going to open later, but they're actually going to be starting early. So this is where, let's see, this is where we needed clarification, and they did give it to us. So let me scroll ahead to the clarification. So considering that some travelers still have doubts about Season 1 early access regarding the previous announcement, we'd like to address all the relevant questions here. So this is where we get way more clarification about what everything means, and I still further clarified even afterward. So travelers who participated in Season 0, if you're going to play your old account, you will enter the server for early access. Oh, excuse me. Chaos Clipsedra 1. If you log into the game between 2 a.m. on September 16th and 2400 hours, pretty much 100 hours on September 18th. This server will only be available to Season 0 players, since all players are expected to be familiar with the gameplay and their player characters will be carried over to the new season. We anticipate fast-paced gaming experience with intense competition on this server, making it suitable for travelers who seek a challenge. So for those people that are ready, like they can't wait to get started, that, you know, you just want to go and you're ready for that competition. You want to show that you're the best. You want to get those leaderboards. That's going to be a good choice. But it's going to be a very competitive server. So here is my thought. The number 2. Oops, I scrolled too far. So for travelers who participated in Season 0 as well, if there's going to be 2 servers, Fountain Interplanar 1 and Fountain Interplanar 2, that will become available starting at 5 minutes past the hour on September 19th. So like midnight, 12:05. So for me, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm not starting then. New travelers who did not participate in Season 0 will also gain access to these 2 servers. On these servers, Season 0 travelers can act as guides, assisting new players in getting started more swiftly. This option benefits both newcomers in need of guidance and players who want to enjoy the game with their friends. So this is, I think, the best option for most people that played CBT2, actually starting on the 19th, which is what I'm planning to do. If you're not going to be super competitive, if you want to avoid the Kraken servers, I think so many people are going to be extremely excited to start playing as soon as possible, which is tomorrow. Again, you can start tomorrow, the 16th, if you have a CBT2 account, and you will be completely separate from everybody else playing at Global. Now, this is the tricky thing here. This is what I asked about. So I read this and I was like, no, this is bad. They're like, oh yeah, Season 0 travelers will act as guides. No, we won't. We will take over the leaderboards. We will have an advantage over new travelers. So that's not fair. So I was really upset when I read this. And I was like, the only way that this is okay is if the people are not defaulted as a new player. If you open the game and you're defaulted to this server, that's not okay. So the default better be to something else. Because imagine you're a brand new player, you've never played the game before. You open the game, you just join on the default server because how would you know to change it? And you start playing and then you realize you have all these players on the same server as you with 10 legendaries already, 6, 7 legendaries already, even 4 or 5 legendaries. That's still a lot. And they have advanced accounts. They're popping Heliolite die because they already saved them. You feel like you're going to be way behind, right? Like it feels like there'd be a terrible disadvantage. But this better be correct because I asked clarity. Our contact in our content creator chat did say that people who are starting as a new traveler will not be defaulted to this server, but you can choose to go to them. So during the way back when, that fireside chat that had lots of negativity after around it, that fireside chat, we really stressed that we really need to let people play with their friends. Like, some people are not going to care about the competitive side. They just want to be able to be in the same alliance with their friends, right? Some people don't care if they're not at the top of the leaderboards. Most players don't care about the top of the leaderboards. So this is the good part. If, like, let's say I'm going to start my main account on one of these servers, right? One or two, depending on when I start, I guess, it'll tell me which one I have to go on if one fills up or two fills up. And then if other players that are new players want to play the same server as us, they can choose to go to those servers. So at least it gives you the option to play with your friends who already have accounts on CBT2 or with CBT2 from Season 0. At least you have the option as a new player to go play with them and be in the same alliance, because alliances are server based and there's going to be a lot of servers. This is the kind of game that has a lot of servers. Luckily, they dramatically expanded their server capacity, so there shouldn't be quite as many as there was last season. Well, there will be because there are going to be more people playing, hopefully, but it won't be so quick to switch to new servers. So hopefully my thought is within a couple days, you'll be able to join the same server with your friend at least and not have every single day is going to be a new server popping. But that is the way it is for alliances, guys. Alliances are server based. But I did notice that there is a special post also addressing that. So we'll get to that in a minute. But I just wanted to take some extra time to talk about this because it is complicated. So if you're a traveler who participated in Season 0, you can either start on the 16th or the 17th or the 18th, and you'll be on that special new early start server altogether. If you're a traveler who doesn't want to start on those dates, you want to start on the 19th with everybody else with the global hype, then you can start on one of these servers. And if you're a new traveler, you don't have to be affected at all by Season 0 players. So this is what we'll talk about here. So for travelers who have not participated in Season 0, you can pre-download the game though. So let's get into this. So you have the option to go to those not old servers, the servers with older players, or you don't have to, luckily. It better not default there. It's not supposed to, so just make sure. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Just double check what server you're starting on. Do not start on Founter Interplanar if you do not want to be on the server with people from Season 0. If you care about that sort of unfair advantage, do not choose to start on those servers. If you choose, that's your fault. If you notice the competition's extra hard. But all right. Travelers who did not participate in Season 0, which is most of you guys probably watching now, you can pre-download the game client on September 18th and commence with the beginning tutorial and character customization on the Chaos Clepsydra 2 or other servers. On this server, Season 0 travelers will not be able to carry over their player characters created in Season 0. However, this will be a perfect starting line for absolutely fair play. So, I don't know what's with the player characters. I guess it's your main, because we're going to retain some of that resource. So this special server here is going to be completely separate. Season 0 people, if they want to play with you guys new and start a new account, they can choose to go to these, and it'll be starting a new account, I would hope. Because they said they'll not be able to transfer. So therefore, this server will be a perfect starting point for fair play. Both Season 0 travelers and Season 1 newcomers can freely choose a server that best suits their needs. So this is the thing. If you're trying to play with your friends and make sure you can be in the same alliance with your cluster, with your clans, with your guilds, whatever, You can make sure you're all starting on the same servers. Just communicate that day. Be like, hey, what server are you guys on? All right, I'm going in. This is really good to hear that there's going to be at least some flexibility of trying to be able to play with your friends. Of course, I'm sure some servers are going to fill up and they're just not going to have the option to join them, and it is what it is. But still, I'm really happy that there's going to be some level of choosing your server. So for me, I'm going to be in this number 2 category. I'm going to start on the 19th. And if you're those of you that are going to start on the 19th, or on the 18th, you could actually get a little jump start. Or just on the 19th in a different server than me. But I'm not going to be playing my main account very seriously next season. I'm going to be doing something completely different. But I guess I'll talk about that. So me personally, I'm going to be live streaming on September 19th and September 20th. September 19th, I'm probably going to do like a 6 to 8 hour stream on Twitch. It'll be on Twitch. And then the first 2 hours of gameplay I will be recording and putting on YouTube so people can see the real first 2 hours of gameplay. It's a good example for people if you really are debating about playing and you're not sure, and you want to see how the game starts out, what it feels like, how do the new graphics look, what has changed. My video will be a perfect way for you guys to do so. But after that, after the 19th and 20th, I'm gonna be starting with that. Well, the 19th and 20th. Excuse me, I'm like dying. I'm gonna be starting with my Season 0 account that has like 40 Heliolite die to summon. So it's gonna feel like a Kraken account. I'm gonna play with Flora and Tunnelnon and start super strong with some beastie characters and hopefully be able to play with some of the new epics I pull, hopefully. I'm really excited, honestly, to do so. And that's gonna be like my WoW-looking account, the one that gets the CC perks, the one that's like overpowered. But it's fun because you guys will get to see what a what does it look like going into a second season too? Like, as someone who's already played, what's transferred? How much faster can you progress when you have the resources that they give you from season settlement? And like, it'll be fun. It'll be different. But then on September 25th, I'm going to be starting my Starlight Die only sort of challenge. I'm calling it the free-to-play Starlight Challenge. And I'm going to invite you guys to join me. I'm going to make a separate video on that, but just a heads up, if you're kind of wanting to feel out the game, you're not sure, or you don't want to be on servers with Krakens, or you want to play free-to-play, you want to do something different, maybe you'll consider, or you'd like to make multiple accounts for games, maybe you'll consider making a free-to-play account with me, and we're only going to pull the purple die, aka the ones you cannot get a legendary from. So that's going to be my fun challenge for all of Season 1. And that's going to be my focus, and I'm going to have a ton of fun doing that. So September 25th is when I'm going to be starting that. But I'll have a better detail video coming out on that soon, beforehand, before that actually happens. And hopefully I'll get another content creator or two involved. But I also want to fast forward now back here. We were talking about servers and playing with your friends and sharing the experience. There is a special new update with lots of information. And part of it was related to having your friends join your server. So I want to read through this with you guys and see if we can figure it out together. So server invitation, explore Adenthia together. The Alliance feature has to do with many game modes in Dragonheir Silent Gods. It's every traveler's wish to find their favorite alliance, and we would like to make things that easier for our players. After this update, you'll see the new Alliance invitation feature. Each Alliance leader will see a server invitation icon in the Alliance main menu. Tap that icon to access a new page, and you can generate a server invitation code that's valid for 7 days. When another player joins your server, they can go to the server invitation tab and enter the invitation code when they create a new character. This way, they will be taken to the server where your alliance is. So clever. So your alliance must be level 2 to unlock this feature. An invitation code can be used for an unlimited number of times. Once it expires, the alliance leader can simply generate a new one. The server invitation feature will only be available during Season 1, and players who get invited must first link a third-party account. Also, the target server must still have room for players for you to enter the invitation code and create a character there. So like I said, we're more than likely there's going to be situations where the servers are just full, and it is what it is. But this really helps for those people that start late. So for everyone going crazy, starting at global, starting on either the 16th, 17th, 18th, or the 19th, we're all going to start those servers, right? We're all going to start those alliances. And if you want to play, if you start a few days late because you're busy or you weren't sure about the game and you decided you want to give it a try a little bit later, you can enter a server invitation code from one of us that, you know, already have an alliance rolling. And then you can make sure you're teleported into our server. So that's really clever. But keep in mind, guys, you're going to have to be very clear with your friends, with your cluster, with your alliances. Is that one of the servers that has Season 0 players on it, and you're not a Season 0 player and you don't want that unfair advantage? You're going to have to make sure you communicate with them about that, because you could get teleported or whatever. You could get put into that interplanar one I mentioned, the Fountain Interplanar, I'm assuming as well, because that one is for both Season 0 and Season 1 accounts. But this is really good that they're trying their best to give people options. I just worry that the servers are going to fill too fast, and this option is going to become irrelevant, because by the time it's 3 days later and you want to invite your friend to your alliance, your server's already full. Like, I'm not sure, but at least they're doing some stuff to try to let us play with our friends and make it more clear that as long as you, definitely if you're starting on the same day, you can choose servers and make sure you're together, or alliance leaders can try to bring in new players to the server and to the alliance directly. So this is clever, and I'm really glad that they're trying, and they did at least try to make it work within their means. They are limited by the way their servers work, and this is not a large gaming studio, or this is not a large developer. It is with Newverse, but this is SGRA, and this is their first game. They're a lower budget compared to some. Much lower, I'm sure, compared to a lot of the big boys out there. And they don't want to work with it. Like, they can't really, you know, create out of their means. You know, they can only do what they can. And this is their way of trying to help us to be able to play with our friends. So, all right, this was a long video, but lots to talk about. Actually, not too long, really, but so much to talk about with starting early. So if you're Season 0 and you've been excited for the new season, to start Season 1 and have that second season for you rolling, you can play tomorrow. Go play tomorrow. If you're going to start on the 19th properly, you can play on the 18th. You can get your account set up. And that's pretty cool as well. Just being able to set up your account a few days early, I think is a day early, I mean. You can pre-download the game and do the beginner tutorial and choose your character. So you'll be all ready to go the next day if you want to. And then this is a way that you could also make sure you're playing with your friends, because you could be like, all right, guys, let's all set up our accounts and make sure we're on the same server together. This is just another day that you can try to plan with your alliance, with your cluster, and all be together. But I will be starting on September 19th. I'm not even going to open or download the game until then. So I'll see you guys then for the long live stream. And I have lots of videos to come, including later today, I will be posting my tier list sort of video for who to pick from the Horn. We're going to dive into that conversation, plus look at more new heroes added to the game for Season 1, and look at the really big-ass patch notes of all the changes as well. So stay tuned over the next few days. I'm going to try to give you guys lots of updates, but that's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.